And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to IEM Katowice 2023, the World Finals. We are now moving on from the round of 36. We are into the next round of this bracket, and ask and you shall receive. We got our wish. We are going to be following Coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Coffee here ready to go. Everyone's ready to go, right?
Yep. Send it, puppy. Send it. Let's go.
Here we go. We are going to be having the TvT. It is going to be Spirit going up against Coffee. So, Coffee, can he continue this miracle run? Can we see another upset here in the TvT matchup?
That's the question. For those who weren't here with us earlier, Coffee had an insane series against Zaun and took him down 2-1. And now he moves on to face against a player with the home field, the home ground advantage.
Yeah, that he certainly does have. And here he is, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. It is the Polish Terran in the red, playing for KyZ Gaming. This is Spirit.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the Chinese Terran player representing Invictus Gaming. It is Coffee. And yeah, this is something that we don't really get to touch on too often because it's been a long time since we've had some offline events and some offline matches. But Spirit, of course, is playing here from his home country. He's gonna have, well, if he does get towards the main events or the later rounds, he'll have the main crowd behind him. On top of that, he doesn't have to worry about jet lag, about flights or anything like that, mate. He just catches the local tram system, he goes on the ESL tram, and he's there, mate. He's he's good to go, pap.
It's like, I don't know if you remember being at school and you had that kid that kind of lived a few minutes away from school, and, you know, if there was a little bit of downtime between classes, he'd just duck home and get a nice hot lunch.
Confirm Spirit, in between games, he's going home. He's just gonna have a nap in his bed, you know, if there's ever like any delays. Yeah, he'll be set.
A little bit of hot coffee.
Well, that's the question. Is this coffee hot or is it cold? Is it gonna burn him or is it gonna be just right? Coffee must be over the moon right now after the first series, but his opponent, Spirit, is still definitely a world-class player. He is still the favorite in this series and not one to be taken lightly.
Absolutely. But starting things off, we have both players going for a rather unusual out-of-meta opening. Double gas, usually the standard build that you're going to be seeing in TvT, offers you a bit more safety with that faster factory, means that you're not going to be dying to anything like a sharp 2-racks Reaper opening, but with the changes to the workers, where they do attack without that deceleration, 2-racks Reaper is a bit of a weaker build now. So I wonder if because of this, we're going to be seeing some more greedy builds coming out from Terrans in TvT, as we see both of them going for a fast expansion.
Yeah. I mean, this can definitely be a shift in the meta due to those changes. I think a lot of people have overlooked the deceleration changes to those workers. It does mean that early aggression, not just proxy racks, but early pools as well, just early aggression, as I said, is just that much weaker as a result. So yeah, this could be kind of the view to things to come, how things will adapt and change over the course of our new meta.
Yeah, we do see a little bit of a divergence in the plans as well. So Spirit going for a bit more of a standard opening off this, but we did see something different coming out from Coffee. So he actually went gas first, meaning that he gets his factory quite a bit faster. And with that faster factory, he's going for reactor Hellions, which is something that occasionally we do see some of the Korean pros such as Byun and Bunny going for in this matchup, but it's definitely a more unusual way to play the matchup. And definitely an interesting approach as well. Going to be going for those faster Ravens too.
Yeah, his Raven production has already commenced. He's continuing his Hellion production as well, so he will have a lot of firepower when he does counterattack across the map. Meanwhile, Spirit himself is going to be, again, playing it quite standard. We have a Cyclone coming out, just being safe, depending on what his opponent went for, as Spirit has very limited scouting information, and Coffee is already moving out.
Yeah, both players, of course, with quite limited scouting information. This bunker's going to help Spirit out a little bit. So, yeah, it does look like Coffee going to be turning back from this one. Doesn't really know if he's going to be charging on in towards a tank or anything like that. So, definitely respect the decision to back off here. But seeing that bunker, he's going to understand that he's most likely up against a fast expand himself.
Exactly, so you can piece together what his opponent has kind of brought to the table. We do see, no fear, that first Raven for Spirit is going to be zooming across the map. Likewise, Coffee has actually just been banking up his own. He's working up towards 3 Ravens back at home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is something that I think we're going to be seeing a little bit more often on this new patch. The Ravens now, they are cheaper, they build faster as well, so you can opt to go for 3 Ravens. It does build only a little bit longer than the time that 2 Ravens would take, so I think it's something that we might see a little bit more often, as Coffee actually going to be taking his 3rd on location here.
Oh, quite a greedy move. At the same time, he'll go the first Raven of Spirit dives on in. Is going to get a decent amount of damage here. 3 workers are going to go down, but he actually doesn't get eyes on that 3rd base location. He doesn't know how greedy Coffee is being.
Yeah, absolutely. We see a scan being dropped there as well. Spirit's 3rd is a fair way further along, so I think these two should roughly balance out. Might be a small advantage for Coffee here, but Coffee looking to be a little bit aggressive here. Going to be moving out with his 3 Raven push. Behind this as well, actually throwing down his Raxes onto reactors, so he will have much faster Marines and will likely go into medevacs from here.
Oh yeah, that production switch is on the way. Meanwhile, we do see a bit of a lock on the Raven, but we do see plenty of Spirit to push this army back. He does have his first tank out, and he's not allowing Coffee anywhere near it.
Yeah, Spirit pushing this back very aggressively. We are seeing him start to leapfrog these tanks up. The tank could be getting a good shot off on that Cyclone. Both players just skirmishing back and forth. Spirit fighting to get that land of his 3rd.
Yeah, we just see a bit of a scan here from both of our players. Coffee is rotating around to try and deny that 3rd base, so Spirit is keeping up with that rotation. He's able to get here in time. His tanks are a little bit unsieged, but he is able to get that siege off in time.
Yeah, that's right. And Coffee has to be very careful here. I was going to say, with only 2 tanks, you have to be careful not to get disabled there, which it does look like Spirit is looking to maybe sneak in with these Ravens.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this. We do see Spirit collapsing on this army with his own Ravens. He shuts down both of the tanks and all those Hellions at the same time. We do see some auto turret harass coming in, but he's not really dealing too much economic damage, just really focusing on the production.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay there, unfortunately, by Coffee to leave those tanks unprotected,
oh, no.
Especially when you have so few tanks against Ravens there. And looks like 2 Ravens going down. This is a disastrous last minute for Coffee here, and Spirit with a pretty considerable counterattack coming across the map after taking out those 2 tanks. I think Coffee is going to be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, Coffee has 1 tank standing right now. That is all he has to defend, as well as that 1 Raven as well with barely any energy. So far, he is going to be able to buy a little bit of time here, but Spirit has a lot of momentum going his way. He's got options as well. He doesn't have to just power through the center here as, oh my god, Coffee, he picks up for a drop.
Yeah, I do like this idea as well. I mean, Coffee, he does have a much faster stim because of the way that he did his opening. He should have more Marines as well. Looks like Spirit recognizes the Marines, recognizes the potential for stim as well with those medevacs coming out so late, and is going to be backing off and playing things a little bit more safe. Traditionally, when you're the Viking player against the medevac player, you are looking to be a bit more defensive, to sit back, not get caught out in the middle of the map.
Yeah, and this is a really nice play, to be honest, because Spirit, he's going to be able to maintain his lead. You can see here in the units tab, he has a pretty large tank advantage compared to Coffee, and that's just going to keep getting larger and larger as the game does go on. So there's no rush for him. He's feeling pretty comfortable here back at home, and he's going to be waiting for Coffee to try and push into him.
I do want to point out as well, I think he actually forgot stim. So his stim is quite late, but it is on the way now. Some good turret harass coming out from Coffee with that last remaining Raven, but this sensor tower is going to make it very difficult to get things done. The Vikings are in position. This is a very risky drop.
Oh my god, we have a disable as well, and just like that, Spirit Coffee, he is forced all the way back. Thankfully, he doesn't lose too much. All the medevacs and tanks survive.
Yeah, very lucky for Coffee there that Spirit didn't have his stim ready for that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you say whether or not he forgot it. If you remember, when the Ravens got into the main base, they did target down that tech lab, and I believe they killed the tech lab. So, you know, maybe a blessing in disguise when Coffee did go for that move, for that auto turret harass. Maybe it did work out for him in the end. I don't know if it was worth it. But Coffee, he is undeterred. He's going to keep on pushing. He at least focuses down that sensor tower.
Yeah, good catch there, actually. I didn't think about that, but that would be why the stim is delayed, yeah.
Boy, and meanwhile, we do see Coffee just backing up for the time being. Spirit does load up 2 medevacs. He's going towards that main base. There is a spotter turret that's on the way, and it looks like it should finish up just in time to catch this.
Yeah, that should give Coffee enough notice here that he can load up his own medevacs and chase this in. But no, the turret doesn't get the hit off, so depends on whether he was watching. Did Coffee catch this? It looks like no, he's not prepared for it.
Oh my god, the turret saw it, but Coffee did not. We do have the double jump into the main base. A lot of workers are going to be going down. We have a couple of reinforcements to help out, but honestly, not that much.
Yeah, definitely not enough. The SimCity causing a bit of problems here for Coffee. Spirit actually just going to pick up and get out of there. Doesn't really know what's on the way. Doesn't want to lose this drop for free here. Kind of sends that into the corner, into that recall spot there.
Yeah, it is going to be safe and sound, tucked away in that corner for the time being. At the same time, we do have a little bit of lib harass being set up as well. Spirit does have a Liberator headed towards the natural and towards that third base. Thankfully, he's able to save that Liberator from being rallied into all those Marines, and he's going to get even more SCVs.
Yeah, really good damage from this Liberator here. This is something that Spirit's very good with, and he is going to be able to drop back on into the main. He takes out that last Raven. This turret should be no match for these Marines with that armor nerf there, and Spirit going to be timing this push on the 4th at the same time. Beautifully set up. Yeah,
he doesn't have that many Marines to help buffer and support these tanks, but there isn't that many Marines in position either. The tank volleys go off, and here come the reinforcements.
Yeah, here they come. And meanwhile, we do see a Liberator dropping in the 3rd as well. So Spirit is absolutely everywhere. Very strong multitask coming out of the Polish player here.
Yeah, Coffee is being pulled apart right now. That's a kill on that 4th planetary. Now, Coffee, his hand is being forced. He's down an entire base. Spirit is getting his own 4th up and running, and he's got to go.
Oh, and this Liberator in the natural only just goes down now. Coffee really being pulled apart by everything going on there. 16 SCVs going down, the 4th going down. The main is being floated down to that 4th, and he is all in with this attack now. But look at the army for Spirit. The macro has been so clean.
Yeah, Spirit is maxed out. He's sieged up. He has the high ground as well. Pushing into this position is just not going to be possible here for Coffee, but he has no other choice. Like, he's got to go now or never.
Yeah, that's right, as we do see him sieging up over here. Should be in range over here of this tank, and there we go, the scan going to be going down, so not even winning that trade. Things are just not going Coffee's way right now.
They really aren't, and Spirit has the spare supply to load up and go for a bit of a drop across the map. He has plenty at home to defend. This tank line is not going to be touched. Coffee is going to try and rotate around and try to find another angle, but the longer this goes on, the worse it will be for Coffee. He's forced to even lift up and land his own main.
Yeah, there's nothing here on this left side to defend. I think this drop is going to get a lot of damage for Spirit. Coffee going for a drop of his own, but there are turrets in position at the natural. We can see already Spirit going into his Liberator transition as well, so he's just going to extend this lead, but Coffee is going to be in position for this attack. There is another attack to the north, however.
Yeah, the double drop gets forced back. As you were saying, we do have a couple of Marines moving in towards the top right. In comes Coffee at the same time. The tanks have moved out of position, so maybe he can find a little bit of damage. He at least gets the tower.
Yeah, tower going to be taken out. That takes Spirit a little bit more into the dark, but oh, nice little run by with the Marines here. Should be able to take out a good amount of SCVs. Take out the sensor tower as well, so going to be setting up future attacks here.
Yeah, he will. I mean, these Marines are going to go down, but they have paid for themselves. At the same time, the double drop from the south also comes in, but there isn't enough here, really. So Coffee, he's weathering the storm. He's slowly catching up. He's going to have a bit of a window as well. His 3-3 upgrade timing is going to be slightly faster than Spirit's.
That split off of the Marines, that was really cute. He's going to be getting a few more SCVs for his trouble for that one, but looks like he's just trying to bleed out Marines slowly, try to get rid of some of his supply that he has in Marines and start improving his army into more of an air-based composition. So he is looking to get into more of that late game, but Coffee has a formidable push coming in here. Wow, huge anti-armor missiles.
Oh my god, the Dorito cannon is real, and we cannot push into this siege line. Coffee once again is denied entry into the 4th base. He's just force the unsiege and back off. At the same time, another bit of a marine run by not even that many marines, but SCVs are falling here, distracting Coffee, forcing him back.
Yeah, Spirit doing a very good job of controlling the map. We do see Coffee going to be once again trying to split off a little bit of a drop. Does have that scan there, but all these Liberators for Spirit have just been so effective in this game.
Yeah.
And completely deny mining at the fourth.
Exactly, zero mining whatsoever. 4 more SCVs are going to be going down as well. Coffee wants to do something with his army, but once again he gets scanned.
Yeah, I mean, Spirit's doing such a good job keeping track of this army. He's very well set up defensively, starting to go further into that air army with the Vikings, with the Ravens, as well as some Liberators on the way. 4 more Liberators, so plenty of potential for more harassment to come out there.
Yeah, exactly. But Coffee has got some libs of his own. He is now maxed out. 3-3 is just about to finish up here for this fight.
Ooh. Yeah, and this is a pretty good looking fight here. He's going to get a nice angle, takes out a lot of these tanks with the Liberators. Actually going to be breaking through here, so Coffee actually finding a lot more success than he has in most of this game.
He traded better than I think any of us thought he would. He killed so many tanks. He doesn't have enough to break this position and keep pushing, but that was a great fight for Coffee.
Yeah, really great attack, and that does buy him a little bit of space, a bit of breathing room in a game where he really has been up against the wall, and he can continue to pump out those tanks. He has those 3-3 Marines on the way as well, so he can continue to put some pressure on. These Liberators are really causing him some trouble, though.
Yeah, like, look at the worker counts here. Like, even though Coffee was able to trade so well with just pure Marine, he's been losing worker after worker left and right. He's desperately trying to expand and take some more of these bases, but he needs more time. Meanwhile, he also should be looking to try and punish Spirit a little bit here. Spirit is double expanding as we speak.
Yeah, Spirit really looking to eat up the map here, and he does leave this bottom left-hand base quite exposed. Coffee going to be charging on in. I think there is potential for a bit of a supermax here for Coffee, but his army really isn't that much bigger than Spirit's, and he's losing a lot to the PF here.
Oh my god, he is, but he does get the planetary in the end. Is it going to be worth it? His tanks are really well positioned, but the Liberators are going to force the unsiege, and Spirit can chase from here. Ooh, a lot of tanks going down.
Yeah, that Liberator range with that Viking air control is going to be very hard to deal with. But wow, Coffee gets the top right-hand base as well. Catches that PF, morphing in without support. Going to get another one to the bottom left-hand here. This has been a good few minutes for Coffee.
In the blink of an eye, 3 planetaries go down. Not bad at all, but Spirit is still maxed out. He still has a devastating army, and Coffee is still struggling to rebuild.
Yeah, Spirit's army quality here is so much higher than that of Coffee, and I really worry that if Spirit slow pushes this across the map, there is just nothing that Coffee can really do about it.
Yeah, Coffee, like, because he's lost so many workers throughout this game, he's really struggling to rebuild his forces and recoup his losses, but that's why he has to be so active with his army. He has to try and keep Spirit at home, and so far he's doing a decent job. So far, Spirit hasn't committed to a counterattack.
Yeah, and it looks like he's about to catch him out of position once again. I really think that Coffee can, if he wants here, force a bit of a base trade, and he's going to be charging on in. But yeah, very good decision to pull away from the natural there. Doesn't want to be losing this army. He can't replace it.
Oh my god, but the Libs, they're going to force another siege, and how many tanks are going to go down? 2 more tanks fall. We cannot afford these losses. Coffee, he's down to how many? 5 tanks in total, half the tank count. He taps out. GG gets called.
GG, but very exciting game coming out from those 2 players. Plenty of action all across the map. Spirit just clinching that one out with overall slightly more solid play.
Oh god. That was getting quite close towards the end, not gonna lie. Coffee was having some great fights overall, but we just saw continued Liberator harass just time and time again. There was always, you can see on the left hand side, like the workers killed kind of portion of the screen, just always like 5 or so workers just constantly dying there for Coffee, and he could never really get a solid economy.
Yeah, absolutely. He did a really good job at keeping control of that economy of Coffee there. So yeah, we are going to be going into this next game, but honestly, not a bad showing coming out from Coffee at all. That was a pretty close game, and you know what, like, I feel like from this one time that you complained to me that TvT is boring, whenever we cast TvTs, we get nothing but exciting games.
Excuse me. I did not phrase it that way, okay? Oh my god. TvTs can be exciting, as we saw. They can be very dynamic, and part of that I have to attribute, to Coffee. Coffee was all over the place. I guess to give credit to Spirit though, like likewise, once he got into a really comfortable position, once he kind of got his corner of the map solidified, he wasn't adverse to going for his own counterattacks and his own run-bys. A very dynamic game.
Yeah, absolutely. So that will be game 1 on Babylon. Game 2 coming up, going to be Royal Blood, a little bit more of an open map, probably a fairly similar rush distance, but notably also doesn't have a natural ramp, so there is more potential for aggression in the early game.
Oh yeah, there is that potential. I want these players to take advantage of that potential as well, as we're going to be loading into Royal Blood. Of course, we're getting into game number 2, potentially the final game of the series, or we could go all the way to the ace match.
Yeah, but either way, here we go. With this 1-0 lead, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, this is the Polish Terran in the red, playing for KyZ Gaming. This is Spirit.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent, the Chinese Terran player representing Invictus Gaming. It is Coffee.
Here we go. Now, without that natural ramp as well, I'm not expecting to see fast expands coming out from these players again. Probably more likely to see double gas and a bit more aggression to start off with, but, you know, I feel like the meta is still continuing to form.
Yeah, you know, it is still developing before our eyes, and there we have it. We do have that double gas opener from both of our players. Yeah,
absolutely. So no cheeky proxies, nothing like that. We are going to be having what has been over the years a bit more of a standard TvT. I am interested to see if either of the players are going to go very heavily into Reaper Hellion aggression. I think that is something that we have been seeing more and more over the years. It's kind of that arms race of one of them goes, 2 Reaper, 1 Hellion, the other guy goes 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion, the next one goes 4 and 3, and it's kind of like, where do you stop with it? We have seen some pretty crazy games that way.
You never stop, Papi. You never stop. You keep on going.
It's the coffee build.
Exactly. Oh my god. Speaking of, I want to divert your attention a little bit here to something. I don't know if you noticed. We're on Royal Blood, but we can't.
Oh, the carpets are gone. The rugs are gone.
The carpets are gone, Papi. Smoke.
It's not a home anymore. It's just a house.
Exactly. We can't. It's not a whole new world anymore. We can't.
No.
We can't go.
Now it's kind of like a. You practice some kung fu on this floor. This flat floor.
Yeah. I see it. Oh my god.
It's a dojo.
It is with those wooden floorboards. For those wondering why the carpets were removed, there was a little bit of a graphical error, and they were actually hiding borrowed mines. The carpets were actually covering them completely, so it was not good.
Yeah, I believe the map maker here, shout out to May on Fire, actually requested those be removed as well. Yeah. I did notice them when you have units selected over them as well. The little circle around the units wouldn't show.
Yeah. So an unintended side effect, and for IEM Katowice, they have been removed for balance purposes, of course. I believe it hasn't been updated for the latter, but one day it will. I'm sure. Copium.
I didn't want to say it. As we do have, there we go. Going to be that 5 Reaper 3 Hellion opening coming out from Coffee. So quite an aggressive opening. We can also sit here at the top of this ramp and camp that, but no, actually going to be going early.
Yeah, he's already sending it across the map. Meanwhile, Spirit back at home, he is ready and waiting to receive with his own three Reapers and 2 Hellions. Who shoots first, and how good are these Hellion volleys going to be so far? We do see a couple of good shots going off.
Wow, great micro coming out from Coffee. Actually going to be taking the better of this trade. So saves those 2 Hellions, might even want to look to take those home and repair them, but should have reinforcements coming out as well. So this is actually starting to go in Coffee's favor quite heavily, as we see 3 SCVs going down, and that Cyclone still quite far off for Spirit. So something we were talking about, that Reaper Hellions arm race. If you do end up being one set ahead, that can go quite heavily in your favor.
Yeah, as we saw, things really snowballed quite heavily here. 2 more SCVs are going to be going down, and this is massive, especially in the early game. We're going to force a delay on that depot as well. The Cyclone will finally come out, and when it does, this will be forced back, but the damage has been done.
Yeah, absolutely. So this opening is done very well for Coffee. He is going to get a considerable SCV lead off the back of that, and it does look like the stage is set for Coffee to try to win game 2 here.
Yeah, he's got a nice early lead here. We'll see if he can capitalize on that lead back at home. He's kind of transitioning into what we would expect. He's working on his Ravens, he's working on his own tanks as well, and he will have tanks that much faster here as Spirit is prioritizing Cyclones instead.
Yeah, interestingly, here going to go for the double Cyclone, so a bit more of a safe play against any early aggression, especially with this open natural here. Definitely going to help out here, but does set him even further behind in the tank count, which could be an issue heading later on into this game. Can Coffee convert this lead that he's gotten for himself?
We'll see. Once again, for the second game in a row, he's getting his third base on location. This time, it's not just on location, it's also faster, much faster than that of Spirit, so we'll see if he can get away with it. Because of these Cyclones, also, it's going to be on Spirit to try and find some value with them as well. They have a lot of versatility, but as the game does go on, they do kind of lose their value.
Yeah, the Cyclone's really good for map control. I'm a little bit worried for Coffee if he doesn't get something in position to defend this third on location. The Cyclones could delay this quite heavily, but no, looks like Spirit just going to go for that mid-map control for now.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, one of those spare Reapers does go into the main base, and Coffee does get a scout off, does confirm the timing of that third CC.
Yeah, third timing really helpful to know in this matchup. Does give you an idea of, whether you want to be the attacker, whether you want to be the defender here, and it does look like Coffee, regardless of this, is going to look to go for a bit of a move out to keep that pressure on, and that Hellion going to be spotting these Cyclones as well.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Very important here. Worst case scenario, and those Cyclones could have gotten a lock on a Raven. So Coffee, very nicely done, is going to be able to slowly push up this ramp, but is being slowed down. Spirit does have eyes on this. He is also repositioning his own army.
Yeah, I like the way that Coffee's keeping this Hellion at the front here just to soak up any of those lock-ons. It is going to be going down, but we do see Cyclones lock onto each other here. And Coffee here, he just wants to delay the third from being landed, so he's just going to get further ahead that way. Spirit already has a Viking out, so that does put a bit of a timer on this.
Yeah, the timer is on, and Coffee doesn't want to overstay his welcome here. He doesn't want to throw away his lead. Already he has his third base up and running and starting to be mined from. Coffee doesn't have to overcommit here to try and break the natural or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, behind this as well, we do see Coffee. He's going to be going for the same transition that he went for in the last game, so getting those Raxes onto reactors much faster than you ordinarily would, and going for Medivacs over Vikings.
Yeah, interesting here. I mean, he's going to have a lot more drop potential as a result, but he won't have that air superiority, and I wonder if that's how that's going to work out here, because we do know how much value that has in a TvT.
Yeah, I mean, he's delayed this third again. I mean, Spirit's going to go over to the other side to land this. He doesn't feel comfortable going for that, but this turret's going to be getting a good amount of damage. 4 SCVs going down already.
Oh, yeah, we even have another turret here at the third base location as well. Spirit, he's not going to take this lying down. Again, his own third has been delayed, and he's going to force a little bit of a reaction there out of Coffee. Spirit still hasn't been able to overtake that worker count, though.
Yeah, but with that Coffee, he does actually retain the worker lead, and he's stopping this third from mining again.
Ugh.
This is really nice work coming out from Coffee, and he's going to have a good little advantage here. The other thing is his Ravens have more energy now, but these Vikings are going to make it quite difficult for him to do anything with that.
They really are, but you know what? The Ravens of Spirit still haven't been cleaned up. We see more auto turrets. Oh no! The SCVs come back a little bit too soon. More of them are going to get picked off here across the map. And sure, Spirit may not have a third base, but he's still wreaking havoc.
Yeah, I mean, this can help tie things up. It seems like both players having difficulty mining. We do see Coffee is starting to get up towards that mineral count where he can look to take a fourth base, and he is going to take it on location. Very good decision there. That's going to help him get further ahead, as we do see the trademark Liberator of Spirit going to be sent out.
Oh my god, the Raven! Oh, one Raven of Coffee gets sniped there. Nice moves from Spirit trying to find damage where he can. As you were saying, these Liberators, they are back. They arguably won Spirit the game in the first match that they had with each other, and these Liberators are just going to have free reign once again, delaying this fourth.
He wasn't looking, puppy. He wasn't looking at his ravens.
He wasn't looking. Oh, is he looking? Oh my god. So even though like we're in a really weird position here where now Coffee, he's falling further and further behind in the worker count.
He is, but he has such a commanding position here. Spirit still can't land this third. We have the BM sensor tower smack bang in the middle of that natural. They're going to be seeing everything that he does there.
Oh my god, he's insane, Bobby. He's an animal. Once again, the Vikings are sharking around. It looks like they will catch a medevac for their troubles. Not too bad. And meanwhile, looking at the units tab here, Coffee still barely has a tank lead, but he doesn't have those liberators, and I feel like maybe those libs will be able to turn the tide in the favor of Spirit here in the next fight. Oh my god, the Vikings!
Spirit. The Vikings. I was about to talk about how that Viking is such a fantastic advantage for Spirit here because, yeah, he can do stuff like this. He's going to be able to push this back, and there's no reaction out of Coffee.
Ooh, one tank goes down. We're going to get a second tank as well. Brutal, 2 tanks for free here. Liberators change everything, and now finally Spirit can land his third.
Yeah, he's finally going to get to land that third at the right time of 10 minutes, but I have to say, I'm wondering if this medevac style opening is really working out for Coffee. But here he is, he's going to be charging on in. Nice spread with the Marines there, but no, they are getting massacred by these tanks, and there's no answer for the Liberator.
Yeah, there were too many tanks in position. The Liberator stands strong as well, and Spirit is going to hold.
This is so painful. Coffee doing such a fantastic job all the way throughout this game. Finally has his moment to jump, and it just doesn't work out for him at all. That is so unfortunate.
Yeah, and now any kind of lead that Coffee had is gone. He's still struggling to deal with all these harassing Ravens and the harassing Liberators as well. He had his shot, he had his opportunity, and now Spirit, he is quite far ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the supply really tells the story here. Despite not being able to land his third, Spirit was so patient, and Coffee maybe losing a little bit of patience there at the third, not having the confidence in himself to, you know, convert this lead that he's made. And yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. I was going to talk as well about this medevac opening. I feel like if he had maybe gone for Vikings earlier on, considering how well he was able to contain Spirit, if he had the air advantage as well, I just don't really see how Spirit would have gotten himself out of that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, especially with the Vikings helping out with the Liberator harass and the Raven harass as well, like, it would have completely shut down Spirit's ability to come back in this game, but alas, it was not meant to be. A double drop gets into the main base, 10 more SCVs go down, and Coffee, he's just continuing to bleed out more and more units. In Spirit, he's just continuing to just capitalize on his lead, looking to take more of these bases, looking to max out.
Yeah, this has been a really beautiful game from Spirit, just showing how patience in this matchup, and despite not being able to land his third for so long, all this harassment, all this patience, was able to make the best of a bad situation, and he's really gotten himself back into this in a big way.
Definitely. Like, Coffee, it's one of those things where he almost looked maybe a little bit nervous. Like, he's like, I'm doing so well, but at the same time, like, I'm losing so many workers, and I don't want to send my army back home. I want to keep denying the third base, but like, I'm really like struggling to deal with all the harassment. Like, oh my god, it's painful to watch.
Yeah, it does feel like he really snatched at that opportunity. We can see as well a bit more of an evidence of the nervousness of Coffee. His factory is not landed on that attack lab.
Oh no. Stop looking at his shame. Oh my god, as the drop play continues, and Coffee just doesn't have a sensor tower here on the left hand side. He doesn't have vision, and oh my god, he's gonna lose so many SCVs.
Yeah, Coffee as well, expecting to have map control for this entire game. Didn't make this into a planetary fortress, made it into an orbital instead, which did make a lot of sense at the time, but after he lost his army, he didn't have the same map control he used to.
Yeah, exactly, and now he's being punished for it, for not having any planetaries in position. He's still struggling to keep up, by the way. In Spirit, he's gotten to the point where he is maxed.
Yeah, Spirit is absolutely pulling him apart with this harass. 18 SCVs have gone down. This is not what you want to see in the TvT, and behind this he's been able to establish his own fourth, and with that I can safely say that he's tied up the economy now.
He's more than tied up the economy, Papi. He's gonna be running away with this, and now it's I don't know, like in the previous game we saw Coffee do such a great job at like try to find and create these opportunities, you know, try and catch Spirit out of position, but he's just been having such a hard time maintaining control of his own bases. Finally he's going to be moving out here once again ever since that initial fight happened. Can he maybe do that again? Can he find these windows, these opportunities?
Yeah, he's going to look for a window here on that third, and the third is a little bit undefended. We have all these tanks moving over to get into position. Marine's going to be diving on top of this. They do need to get away from those tanks, but Spirit, as this is happening, sends in a counterattack towards that fourth base, and that orbital will be going down.
Oh my god, exactly. We're trading a base for a base here. Ooh, a couple more tanks. The stray tanks are going to be taken out, and I feel like this is hurting Coffee more than it really is hurting Spirit.
Yeah, I think so. Spirit even turning around, trying to take this fight. Wants to take out the Ravens. A little bit of an overextension there, trying to take those Ravens out. A little bit of a bait coming out from Coffee there. Is going to be getting a nice trade, but when we look at things all in all, it feels like Spirit did come out a little bit better from this one. We do see Coffee this time is going to be going into an air transition, which I'm quite happy to see. Going to be pumping out those Ravens. One thing to note as well, Corvid Reactor, the upgrade for the Raven energy, does not exist anymore. So this transition is a little bit less strong than it used to be.
Yeah, he's gonna try and make it work anyway, and there's a lot of value in all these Ravens. You know, even if your supply is a little bit lower, you have a lot of energy to work with, whether it's your auto turrets, your disables as well. But it's not like Spirit is kind of resting on his laurels. He's got 3-3 on the horizon. He's working on lib range. He's making 3 liberators at a time as well. His own army is going to be quite terrifying.
Yeah, interesting to see Spirit prioritizing this lib transition instead of the Raven transition. So maybe a sign of his feelings towards the meta now that the Raven doesn't spawn with as much energy as it would otherwise. Definitely have to keep an eye on how other Terrans are playing this out. But yeah, Spirit once again just going for the harassment with these Marines. Going to be a good trade for Coffee here.
Yeah, the double jump gets cleaned up. Not too bad. At the same time, Coffee, he's just doing the best that he can to try and deny any vision that Spirit has out on the map. But again, Spirit, he's playing this slow, he's playing this steady. Looking at the units tab here, he's up to 16 tanks. That's a lot of tanks.
This is the TvT you wanted.
I didn't want it, Poppy. I didn't want it.
We do see Spirit just weaving the gap between these turrets here. He's going to be able to get this Liberator in, and man, he's just so annoying with his Liberators. He is relentless, and he gets so much damage with them.
Oh my god, that one, the Hero Marine, was doing a lot of damage, but it finally does get taken out for SCV's fall as well, as Spirit is just slowly taking more and more of these bases, and yeah, he's just waiting for Coffee to push into him. He's waiting for Coffee to maybe get a little bit impatient, maybe get a little bit frustrated like he did before.
Actually, Coffee can siege this base from the low ground, and it's going to be very difficult for Spirit to get in position. Looks like instead he's going to be heading over to this PF, but I think, yeah, if we just siege up here, we should be able to deny mining on that planetary. Takes out a good amount of SCVs as well. But these Liberators, they're going to be a problem.
They are going to be a problem. We do have an anti-armor missile here on the air army of Spirit, but is it going to be enough? It is not, as the Vikings get eviscerated for Coffee.
Yeah, those turrets didn't really work out in swaying the fight in his favor. That means his Liberators now can continue to push back the tanks, especially with that lib range. This drop on the tank Spirit just a bit too fast for that. Not going to be taking the friendly fire from his own tanks here.
Yeah, it does pick up a couple of tanks, but is it going to be enough? 13 SCVs went down as well. Coffee, he should be able to get away with the majority of his army, and at least he kept his Ravens alive. Did I speak too soon? Spirit, he's looking for them up. He's looking.
Yeah, he's sharking for them ever so threateningly. This siege up, unfortunately, will probably result in one of these tanks going down as well. There we go, and we are just looking to keep this army back as Coffee, but I don't know how you stop this slow advance of Spirit with the libs and the tanks.
Yeah, there's no answer here to that air. The air superiority is still firmly in the grasp of Spirit. He's setting up a bit of a counterattack across the map. There's no answer to these libs or Vikings. Ravens just don't seem to cut it.
Yeah, I do worry that Ravens aren't quite the force they used to be. If he can build up the energy on those, he can go for mass disables on the tanks, but we did see before that didn't work out too well for him. So hopefully if he does go for that, he can be a little bit more successful. I do think this Liberator approach from Spirit has shown to be quite effective though.
It really has. Also, I don't think this is intentional. I think 3-3 may have been forgotten for Coffee. I think he has the resources maybe to invest into it, but he is kind of stuck with worse bio here compared to Spirit as he's continuing to be pulled apart here.
Yeah, that's a bit of a worry. I mean, obviously it sounds very obvious to say, you know, 3-3 Marines are better than 2-2 Marines, but they trade very one-sidedly.
Exactly. So Coffee doesn't even have that advantage. Even if he did disable all of these tanks, he's going to have a hard time getting on top of them and punishing them as well. So we'll see if maybe he can avoid them entirely. We see the army of Coffee rotating over towards the left-hand side. Once again, the army is looking a little bit light here, so maybe he can find a way in. Spirit does spot him, and he's also rotating over as a response.
Yeah, I think this is going to turn out a little bit more similarly to what we saw in that previous game where Coffee has a slightly more mobile army and he's going to be looking to pull Spirit out of position.
Yeah, and we'll see if he's going to be able to do so. Shout out to the one Marine harass. Oh my god. It's a 3-3 Marine pup. He's crazy. He's cracked.
3-3 Marines built differently. He's going to be churning through that supply line. And oh, Coffee, bit distracted by that. Miscontrols, loses quite a few tanks here to this aggressive siege of Spirit. The Liberator as well, distracting him. 23 SCVs have gone down. And there is no mineral mining for Coffee right now. Look at those minerals. 18, 23, 28. He's not mining.
Finally, he goes back to mining at least a little bit. Only on one base here. Everything else is just being covered by Liberators. That Liberator's still surviving here on the right-hand side, and here goes Spirit is looking to push in.
Yeah, Spirit being an absolute bully. Looks like he's recognized that he has the superior multitask here, and he is just using that to pull Coffee apart, just being relentless. I mean, at this level, if you can find any advantage like that, you really have to lean into it, and he's doing a great job of that.
Yeah, he really is, and now he's slow pushing on the right-hand side. That Liberator on the right-hand side finally gets cleaned up. We do have another Liberator coming in towards the left as well, and there's nothing here for Coffee to respond. Once again, he's going to have no mining.
Yeah, the way that he's found the time to, as well as moving forward his army and continuing his macro, weave in between all these turrets that Coffee has set up on the right side to get those Liberators in has been really fantastic to watch. But looks like Coffee has actually found the one little gap in the, I think it's 7 sensor towers that Spirit has set up here.
That's a lot of sensor towers, that's a lot of Venn diagrams, so here we go. Spirit is out of position, and Coffee is looking to go for the base trade. He's going to be able to get the triangular third base. It does go down immediately. Spirit turns around.
Yeah, I mean, these Ravens have had the time to build up the energy. They are showing their worth now. 2 of them going down to the turret with full energy. Oh, no.
Yeah, these are losses that we can't really afford right now. The auto turrets are coming on in. It looks like Coffee wants to try and break in towards the main.
I really don't like those turrets. I think he needs the disables if he wants to break this position.
And G gets called. Coffee taps out again. He was pulled apart completely, and Spirit takes the series 2-0.
2-0 win for Spirit there, and that was really just a magnificent game here from him. He didn't, you know, fight into the disadvantages he had when he was blocked from taking his third. He didn't take an ill-advised fight to try to break out. He found, you know, different ways to get the match in his favor, and that's really commendable.
It really is. It really is. It's commendable that Spirit was able to kind of maintain his composure as well. Like, honestly, the first 10 minutes of the game, the first portion was looking really rough for him, right? Where he was denied constantly landing his third base time and time again. He was stuck on 2-base economy for so long. But he knew, okay, yo, if you're focusing here on my natural, on the front line, let me just go for all this harassment with his Ravens, with his Liberators. And Coffee was punished for not going for those Vikings. It took him so long, far too long to deal with that harassment.
Yeah, I mean, as well, it's something that I remember is like one of these lessons that you learn from fighting or when you're sparring with someone. If one move is working and they're not blocking it, you just do it again. And you do it again and you do it again. You just keep doing the same thing over and over until they show they have an answer for it. And Spirit, with his Liberators, with his single drop harassers, he just saw an opening in Coffee that Coffee wasn't defending properly, and he was able to just exploit that again and again.
Yeah, and I have to imagine that may have just been nerves because Coffee knew that he was he was ahead, right? He knew that he was in a commanding position, and you could see that like he was maybe a little bit conflicted about letting Spirit expand. He's like, if I leave now and if I defend at home, then he's gonna expand and I'm gonna lose my lead. I can't let this happen. I have to keep him on 2 bases, and he did, but at what cost, Papi? At what cost?
Yeah, I have to say, these little harassers slowly taking away your lead piece by piece, that could be one of the most brutal feelings in StarCraft.
Yeah, you can just feel it slowly slipping away, that victory that you were so close to getting. Regardless, GG, well played. A very solid TvT that we were able to get our hands on. Spirit moves on to the next round. Coffee is not eliminated. He is still in the tournament. He is knocked down to the lower bracket, where we ourselves are going to be going to find out which players are to be eliminated from IEM Katowice.
Yeah, I mean, we do have that lower bracket coming out, and this is, you know, it's a little bit of a bitter moment where we do have to say goodbye to some players. Fortunately for Coffee, after that performance against Sound, he won't be kicked out of this round of 36. He has another chance, and he awaits the winner of T-Ball versus Ryung.
Oh, exactly, and that is where we are going to be headed. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will be featuring Ryung versus T-Ball.
There we go. See you soon, guys.